cloud. Okay. I am calling to order the Monday, July 13th meeting of the Norton Charter Commission. All members are present with the exception of Denise Luciano and Keith Silver. We have no guests at this point in time. We are waiting on Town Council Lauren Goldberg to join us at some point. She said she's signing on right now. So we are all set to go.
Laura, I'm still here. I'll just be off video for a second. I'm grabbing printouts.
That's fine. All right. We are going to start with the acceptance of the minutes of June 25th, 2020. Does anybody need me to share those on the screen right now?
Nope.
Good. If everybody's had a chance to review them, I will take a motion to accept those minutes.
So moved.
Do I have a second? Thank you. Okay. Sandy.
Yes, who was the second? Sorry.
That was Dave Heaney.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's okay. Oh, Lauren's in the waiting room. Okay. Sorry, what did I leave off? Sandy, yes. Carrie?
Yes.
Kevin?
I'll abstain.
Okay. Dave Heaney?
Yes.
David Wren?
Present.
Janie?
I'll abstain as well since I wasn't here.
Okay. And I vote yes. So the minutes of Monday, June 25th, 2020 are accepted. Hi, Lauren.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Good. You're outside too.
I am. This is vacation hair, just in case anyone's interested, and for the record.
All right.
Okay.
Are you anyplace good, or is that just on your porch?
I'm actually in Harwich at a rental house for a little while with my smallest of sons and biggest of dogs. So there you go.
Okay. That sounds like a nice day.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Let's go on. We've done the minutes, administrative items.
Sorry about that.
Sandy, do you want to just give a quick update on the Sun Chronicle and the printer?
I guess I finally heard back from Sun Chronicle, so we need 600 and what did I tell you? 651. But
yes.
then rounding up with some extras that they need. I figured the 750 would be the number of copies we would need. So they, said that I just need to connect with the printer and get that all hooked up, and they only need 3 days advance notice to get that inserted into the Norton papers. And then I'm going back and forth with the printer, trying to work out details on that to get a final quote from them.
Okay. And the Sun Chronicle only needed like 3 days, right?
Right.
All right. So as long as the printer doesn't need any extraordinarily long period of time to print, I think we're fine with our current timing. We're actually in very good shape. I did have a question, Lauren, if you don't mind. Does the Attorney General and the Department of Housing and Community Development, do they need to see the exact insert that we're putting in the paper, or can we put theirs on nicer paper?
Yeah, theirs can just go in formal, like on letterhead or whatever. It doesn't need to be the insert from the paper.
Okay, that was one question. And then I did have a question with regards to timing. Should the insert go in the paper before we send it to the Attorney General and the DHCD? Okay.
Yeah, it goes at the same time, basically. You don't, it's before, sorry, you can hear the dog. It's before the AG reviews it.
Okay. All right. So we just have to time it. They need 3 days notice. We can figure out what day that's.
As soon as you're done with it and ready to send it off, I just send it to the AG right then.
Okay. Got it. All right, so it does not have to be posted in the Sun Chronicle first before it goes to the
No,
AG.
it doesn't.
Got it. Okay. And then I think that was it. I had a question that's more on the public hearing side of things. So I think we'll table that for now. We do not have any members of the public joining us, so I'm going to close the public comment section of the agenda. And we'll jump into the final review and vote on the draft charter. One thing, so Denise was not going to be able to make the entire meeting, but I did ask if she wanted to vote, and she said if we texted her, she would jump on the call real quick to vote on that. I did make the same offer available to Keith. I did not hear back, but he also did not tell me he had any issues with it, so I'm going to assume he is inclined to accept the draft charter at this point. Okay, so let me, Lauren, I was going to pull up the clean one, and then I noticed in the red line version that you had provided that there were a couple of things still pending. So I wanted to make sure we had gone through and addressed everything we needed to address for you, and then take the vote on the, saving any technical amendments, take a vote on the meat of the charter.
Yeah. I was all set, I believe, on everything. I think Sandra noticed a missing reference to the Finance Committee at the end. I wasn't sure if there was anything else. I know there was that one comment that Sandy had left in, and I don't know if that was her or me. But it said...
Hang on, I'm going to share it with everybody right now. If I can find... Oh, this is interesting. Oh, there we go. I was going to say it's actually not showing me all of the...
You got it?
You have to hit show all windows. Okay. Can everybody, well, there's no words yet, but everybody can see?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to scroll through really quick for the purposes. This is the red line version. I just want to make sure that we've addressed everything Lauren had a question about, and then we can just touch base on the two. I think Sandy had two comments. I've gone through it. I did not find anything else that needed to be addressed. So unless if anybody else did, now is the time to raise your hand. So scrolling down. Okay, so this, again, that's just a change. We knew that. There was this here. It said remove, leaving it up to the criteria. So it was still highlighted. I'm pretty sure we had agreed to remove that.
Yes.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure, and we've already addressed the second comment.
Yep.
Okay. 70 days was still highlighted in the clean version. I didn't know if there was a reason for that. That is the number we chose.
That is the number you chose. It was
okay. Okay.
Okay.
Just wanted to make sure there were no nagging questions left behind. Here. Yes. I don't think we had addressed this before. So it's within the long-term financial forecast, it does make reference to the Finance Committee, which we determined was going to be made up of Town Council.
Yeah. Right. So I think we just leave it as submitted to the council.
Correct. Does anybody disagree? Good. I'm going to move on. Formatting. We added the Housing Authority. There was this question left here. Sorry, I'm just going to move you folks out of the way. And I don't remember if this was a holdover from the last one or if this is a new question. with regards to how we determined who was going to call the first meeting. It
Right.
says, does this assume the council president was elected by voters?
That's the earlier version said council president elect, and so that did assume that the council president was going to be elected by the voters. So we changed that to
Yes.
candidate receiving the highest number of voters at the election.
Okay, so that's just a holdover.
Yep.
All right, and then this was a holdover, I definitely remember, and so was this next one.
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't take out the comments. I left them so
Yep.
that you guys could see what I did with each of the issues.
Perfect.
But
I just
they
wanted to
are-
make sure we had addressed everything that you had
Absolutely.
needed. Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. And then Sandy had commented within the transition committee, we had determined to add 2 FinCom members as well, or their designees.
That's right.
Okay. And then now I'm forgetting, Sandy, I thought you had one other edit.
She
Yeah,
did.
the town manager responsibilities and duties, the 2 additional ones we came out, it's not going to be in this copy. It's in the other copy.
I can tell you
Okay.
what that is. I have that one open if you guys want me to. It was
That would be great.
communicate regularly with the public regarding local issues, proposals, actions, and challenges, and promote dialogue and partnership among the town council, town employees, residents, businesses, and other entities. So I had thought, and I'm just looking, to serve as, yeah, I thought we had something like that, but maybe it was just coordinating amongst. Yeah, I can see that there are different things. I think I had that under, well, I thought we had addressed it under P, but I can see what Sandy is saying for sure.
All right. And I do recall we had discussed it in the meeting at the time we were discussing the responsibilities. So
Do you guys want that to be in separate or in the same item? Do you know what I mean? Like, do you want it to be separate lettered items or the same lettered item?
I think initially we thought they were going to be 2 separate, but if they go together, it doesn't matter to me.
we're not going to get into double letters anyway, so we might as well just give up the ghost.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to add them as separate.
Okay.
And then, okay, so I'm going to send this back to you in just 1 second.
Okay. I'm going to get Denise on the phone.
Okay, and then I'm going to get rid of this. You know what? I'm noticing that some of these have periods at the end of the sentences and some of them have.
Oh, semicolons.
I'm going to fix that right now.
Okay.
God forbid. Inconsistent grammar. We don't need that.
Yeah, that's something that in my 3rd read through, I would probably.
Bill's in 3rd reading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So I'm just getting, it'll just be 1 second because I'm fixing that as I go.
No
And
worries.
Sandy, I'm assuming that you used the draft that I had sent over, correct?
Yes. Yep.
Good.
Okay. Denise is calling in. I did feel like I should give Keith one chance, and I just said no worries if he wasn't able to. But if we do get everybody, I'd feel happy about it. Not that it's the final. It's the final first draft. Yeah, so just as a reminder, This will be the version that will go to the Attorney General's office and to the Department of Housing and Community Development. This will be the version that we will take to the public hearing and hear comments on. Based on what we hear back from the Attorney General, we may be required to make some changes. They may also make some recommendations or suggestions with regards to the wording. So at that point, once we've heard back from folks at the public hearing, the Attorney General's office, and I think we're going to try and have a meeting with the people that we had originally invited to all of our meetings to do a kind of a separate session. Based on what we hear from those folks, we'll have a discussion with regards to whether we heard anything new material that we would like to bring up to evaluate and potentially reconsider. But at this point, this draft is not yet set in stone. It's just the first one that's going to the AG's office. So just so everybody's aware.
So I'm taking out the highlighting, and I have to add in to FinCom in there. Take out that comment, and then it will be in its final form.
Awesome. I'm just waiting for Denise, sorry.
All right. So this is our official version 3.
So exciting.
What is today? 7/13. Okay.
Sandy, I should be able to see her if she's in the waiting room if I'm in share screen, right?
Laura, I'll just send it to you and then you'll send it along?
I will. Thank you. Lauren, I didn't know whether you had, I know we had just sent it out earlier today, the preliminary report. Is that something you normally or would be willing to weigh in on as well?
Yeah, I mean, I certainly do and have weighed in on those. You know, basically for you guys, how to organize it and everything is a policy decision, but I can certainly provide any feedback that you'd like to hear.
Okay. All right. At this point, we've got it's a draft that I would consider. Thank you. I got your email.
Okay, great.
What we're going to do tonight is kind of just go over the highlights of it, kind of the major points or sections that we hit, to give people a chance to kind of weigh in and provide any feedback on things that they thought should be there but might be missing. And we can look at a flow chart that Carrie had done also. But the intent is to just vote on the draft charter tonight, work on the get comments and feedback on the preliminary report, and then vote on that in the next meeting. Okay.
So, Laura, then I guess the question is, do you want me to weigh in on this version or on the version once your comments and et cetera have been incorporated?
Probably once they've been incorporated. So okay. You have a preliminary draft tonight. So yep. Given that, if you would like to stay on, we're very happy to have you with us. If you'd like to jump off, we have no issue with that either. I did have a question with regards to the select board is considering a special town meeting, and in regards to your suggestion at the last meeting with regards to the public hearing and maybe doing one or starting it outside and finishing it with one virtually or vice versa, going the opposite order. What is your thoughts on our ability to be able to kind of piggyback onto the special town meeting and using those resources?
Sure. As long, I mean, there's certainly nothing that would prohibit that legally. I mean, one of the benefits, it seems to me, is it probably will be set up early. And so if that's the case, then you'd be able to do that. We still need to deal with the advertising requirement. Hold on one second for that second hearing. I'm going to look it up so that I'm not
I think it's 14 days.
Give me one quick second and I'll be
Sure.
right back.
We're going to vote.
Okay.
Then we can let Denise go. Okay. So the chair will take a motion to accept the final draft of the charter prepared by Lauren Goldberg as discussed this evening. Save any technical amendments that may come up between now and the point we need to send it to the Attorney General's office.
I'll motion to accept what you just said.
Sandy is writing furiously and hating me, as usual. I should literally let somebody else write the motions. Do we have a second, please?
I'll second it, Carrie.
Thank you. Okay, roll call. Let's go. Oh, Shane Strang is paused. That's weird. Nope, we're back. Sorry. Sandy, please.
Yes.
Carrie?
Yes.
Denise?
Yes.
Janie?
Yes.
Dave Heaney?
Yes.
David Wren?
Yes.
Kevin Schleicher Jr.?
Yes.
I am also a yes. We are unanimous. 8. 8 and 1 absent. So, yay us. All right, Denise, it was very nice having you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, and I apologize.
You're more than welcome to stick around and listen about the preliminary report if you'd like, but I understand if you have to go.
Is that considered a unanimous? Oh, I'm sorry. Is that considered an unanimous vote? Since we have one person missing.
I don't know. It was unanimous of the attending town council or charter commission members. We can ask Lauren when she gets back.
I wonder if Keith is going to vote in favor. I wonder if at the next meeting he could say, if I, sort of make a statement. If I had been present, I would have voted yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes legislators do that.
Like I said, it was kind of a last minute thing, and I don't, he may have something personal going on and simply just couldn't get away, but I did want to give him the opportunity to jump on tonight. So we can address that next week. All right, Denise, thanks. Have a good night.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
All righty. Bye-bye. All right, I'm going to stop sharing this document. Lauren's back. Lauren, there was a question raised, so we were missing a member tonight.
Yes.
We did vote unanimously of the attending Charter Commission members. Is that still considered a unanimous vote?
It is.
Okay. Perfect. Good answer. All right. You were going to look up the hearing requirement?
Yes. Then submit. Okay. Published. The notice has to be published at least 10 days prior to the hearing in a newspaper having general circulation in the town.
Okay. So, and the Board of Selectmen or the Select Board need 14 days, I believe?
For a special town meeting. Yep.
Yes. Okay. So once we are aware of that date, we could potentially piggyback. Do you see any issues with doing it this way?
I mean, the only thing I can think of just from the public health perspective is we've been trying to minimize the amount of time spent in one place to the extent possible, or spent together to the extent possible. But it also kind of seems like a pretty good scenario in terms of social distancing and having things organized for that, to be able to do that part outside.
Yeah, especially if they had a tent in a public address system. Like I said, I don't really think we're going to need a public address system. I fully expect me to be sitting in a field with the rest of the Charter Commission members and maybe one or two other people.
Yeah. So I would suggest talking to Mike about that,
Okay.
about the timing, and also finding out, I forget what paper you did the notice in the last time, but getting getting ahead of how many days notice you need to get that into the paper.
Right. Okay. So, does anybody here, again, I don't know whether the timing will work out. We will not have a date until the select board meet again. But does anybody theoretically have any issues if we tried to do that for the outdoor public hearing and then schedule a separate one virtually? And I'm assuming we can do a single agenda and kind of continue it.
Yes, you're allowed. It says you can continue without that additional notice. So I would do that, but I also think you could probably post you could probably publish saying, outside on the date of the special town meeting, whatever time, and again on Zoom at blah, blah, blah.
Okay. In the same agenda.
Yeah.
And in the same notice.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. All right. Okay.
Laura, my only concern with that is I think that's going to be potentially a very long meeting. So I don't know. And we have no way of knowing, right? We have no way of knowing how long it's going to last, what time we could start the public hearing.
Yeah.
Could you, in the public notice, could you say at the conclusion of town meeting, Lauren? Is that
or
can you not say?
So I was thinking of it in the other direction. I was thinking you do it before town meeting.
I was thinking actually either the morning of or the night before.
Yeah, because
I wouldn't do it after.
Yeah, and I do think that because you wouldn't know what time, if we're gonna schedule a public hearing, we have to open on time. So my recommendation would be, and I think it's fine to say we're gonna spend no more than 2 hours on this. So if you have a huge overflow, that you'll do more on Zoom. And I think that that's very ambitious. I don't, in my experience, I haven't seen a public hearing have such good turnout, but that doesn't mean you might not. And so, yeah, that's how I'd handle it. Yeah, you can put a limit on the amount of time of the public hearing for sure.
Okay.
But then I think we're starting I think they're talking about starting the special town meeting earlier. So that would be very early in the morning if we do it beforehand. That's why I was thinking we would have to do it afterwards, because I don't know how you would get it in beforehand.
I was actually wondering if I'm going to assume they're going to need to set up the night before. We can use the setup the prior night.
Yep. So that's something you'd bring up with
Mike.
With the manager. Yep.
Yep. Again, we're dealing then, I think, with mosquitoes and other issues.
Basically, we're going to have to hold off until it gets a little bit closer and figure out how they're going to set this whole thing up anyway before we know.
Yep. I just wanted to find out whether there was any issues, legal issues related to trying to do it on the same day. Okay. All right. Lauren, you're welcome to stay. You're welcome to jump off, whichever you're more comfortable with at this point. We're going to go over the preliminary report.
All right. If you guys are okay with it, then I think I will go and do the kid thing, and then I will take a look at whatever you send me and give any feedback that you ask for.
Awesome. Our next meeting is the 27th.
Okay.
I will let you know if we need you.
Yeah.
I think we may be okay at that point.
Absolutely. And especially if I've already given feedback, then you'd probably be good.
Yes.
But should you need me, you let me know.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you again for your time.
Everybody, take care.
Thank
Have
you,
a good
Lauren.
evening.
Enjoy your
Thanks,
vacation.
Lauren.
Thank you.
Okay. So I'm going to share the screen and pull up. Carrie's going to do the edits. We're just going to do a quick overview. As noted, it was just sent out this morning, so if you had a chance to take a look at it, it's not terribly long. Great, and if you have any comments, feel free to chime in. Otherwise, I think this is something, I think we've got a good start. Everybody kind of take a look at it, and we'll set a deadline for getting final comments back to Carrie in advance of the next meeting, and we'll present a final document in advance of the prior meeting that you can read and have it available to vote on at the next meeting. So front page, we're going to see if we can get maybe a slightly better resolution seal, but having looked at some other places, this doesn't look so bad. Starting out, table of contents, very easy. Carrie did a quick introduction of a little bit about the Charter Commission, what we've been doing for the past 15 months, how long we've met, how many times we've met, and kind of ending in the culmination that comes here. We decided to address the core concerns that we heard from all of our meetings, from the public survey, and any email comments that we heard back. Carrie had a nice idea of including some of the more positive attributes that we heard as well, and bringing those up first before we kind of get into the downside of things, or the things that we felt needed to be addressed, not necessarily the downside. The three most consistent areas were with regards to communication, accountability, transparency. The next one was with regards to government and the form of government. And the third thing that we took away was effective planning and goal setting. We made reference to this potentially contributing to some of the voter apathy, low voter turnout, with our hopes that this might energize citizens in general. Hang on one second. I got Peter Wiggins texting me. Saying he can't get in, but everybody used the same password, right? I'm gonna keep going. I don't want to hold everybody else up. If you can help him out, that would be great. Yeah, here. Joe's gonna help Peter. Sorry. The next thing we wanted to do, and I think we had talked about this a couple of times during our meeting, is we heard a lot of things that we just don't have the capability of addressing within the charter specifically. We wanted to make sure those were specifically pointed out and noted that they were heard, and we used that to kind of tie into the concept of the transition committee. In that, there would be members from the Charter Commission and other areas that would be there after the vote if the recommendation passes. And now he's calling to assist with the transition. And then we get into, there you go. We then get into just the simple highlights of the Charter Commission. This was a bit of this would be what I guess Lauren would refer to as the executive summary. The too long, didn't read section for those with the short attention spans. We then get into a more detailed summary of the charter on page 6, and then we talk about next steps with regards to holding public hearings and information sessions and doing some outreach and PR in advance of the vote in April. Carrie did a really nice piece here, thanked quite a few people responsible for helping us, specifically that town manager from Bridgewater and Foxborough from the Mass Municipal Association, also thanking Lauren and thanking Shane for assisting us through both in-person and virtual meetings. And then it's just a simple literal draft town charter summary, and it is a kind of just a highlights of each of the individual sections of the charter. And that is it for text. There was one thing, and it's not in a final form yet. I'm going to stop sharing here, and I'm going to share a different screen. So I'm going to bring up, sorry, give me one second. Oh, here it is. Okay. Amherst had done a very nice kind of a flow chart of how things would work post recommendation. Right now, this is just in Word. We'll convert it into PowerPoint and fine tune it to an extent. But it was nice in the fact that it showed the voters kind of at the top. They're the ones who are electing the people who are going to be making their decisions going forward. It shows what the town council will be responsible for appointing. The school committee will be responsible for appointing. And what the town manager is, they are responsible for hiring and appointing with regards to department heads and the voluntary boards. And some few dotted lines with regards to where advice and confirmations take place. And this would be probably, we can talk about it a little bit, whether it goes at before the final summary or after the summary. And then, Carrie, there was another one, right? Okay. So this...
Yeah, that was just illustrating the differences in the form of government.
Yeah. And again, just kind of showing where we are currently with regards to the executive and the legislative branch, and then what the proposal is. So we'll work on getting cleaned up versions of those out to you. Did anybody have any comments with regards to the preliminary draft? Were there things in here that you felt we should have included that might be missing? Not specifically, I'm talking more about general sections as opposed to the specific language. But I wanted to make sure that this, we were all in agreement that met everybody's needs and was satisfactory with regards to what we were presenting in general.
Quiet for a second.
Hi, Laura.
Is that Janie?
Yeah, it is.
Hi.
I just wanted to say that I think it looks great, and I appreciate all the work and effort that went into it. I think it looks fantastic. It's very clear and concise. So I just wanted to thank you for that. And I think
thank you, Janie.
Looks great, Carrie. Nice job.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Carrie did a lot of great work on it. I'm very appreciative. Okay, so I think with regards to, can I get my agenda back? No, thank you. Peter's still struggling. He was trying to help. Joe was trying to help. So I think what we should do is if everybody, let me just pull up I'm going to stop sharing this if nobody has any questions or wants to talk about anything specific. Let's take a look at the calendar. Our next meeting is on the 27th. If you can please, if you have not yet reviewed it more in depth, make sure everybody is happy with what's there. If they want to add anything, delete anything, suggest something, tweak something, to let me and Carrie know by, let's say, this Sunday the 19th. Does that work for you, Carrie?
Yes, unmute did not want to work.
That's okay. All right. If you can have that to us, let's say by noon on Sunday. Carrie, let's plan on having a quick chat if we have any feedback
Sure.
from anybody. We can talk about that, put a more final draft together, and then get that out to the group so that you have the week of the 20th to review it one last time. And if everything looks okay, we'll vote on it on the 27th. Does that work for everybody?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Beautiful. Okay, moving on. Okay, so we talked a little bit about, we can't deliver anything to the Attorney General's office until we have the preliminary report, so we'll have that on the 27th. I'm going to pull up the, actually I have a timeline written out here. Let's hold off on talking about public hearing until we know when the select board is going to vote. Here it is. So we have until August 21st to get that in. We're at the 13th. We have all sorts of time. We're doing well. Okay, so let's plan on at the next meeting then talking about firm dates for the public hearings and doing a special meeting, inviting those folks that we had initially invited to our meeting, having a separate special meeting for them similar to the public hearing where it's just a listening session. We'll send out the preliminary draft and charter. Anybody who wants to attend is welcome to attend and bring us their comments and feedback from there. At that point, we will then, I'm trying to just put this in order. So the Attorney General has, I forget, I think it's 4 weeks to come back and give us their decision. So at the next meeting, let's talk about firming up dates for those meetings and try and do them in early August if possible. And then let's see, we got to get a publishing date as well. Public hearing, invite, I think we'll be okay at this point. I did want to reiterate one of the things that Janie had brought up to me, and I had mentioned it in the last meeting. I think the timing for it, there's a good time for it. So Janie had mentioned specifically with regards to certain areas where we, while we think, you know, the decision is the correct one, she wanted to have a further conversation with regards to whether we feel that we can address the concerns of everybody and sell it such that people are inclined to approve our recommendation. Janie and I was thinking we would probably have a clearer idea of that after our public hearing and after the two public hearings, the public one or the outside one and the virtual one, and then the invitation to the folks that we've met with before, and have that conversation at that point, if you're okay with doing it then.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. And we're also going to probably have to start strategizing with regards to how we address things with social media, so we can have some follow-up conversations at that point as well. I think the public hearing is kind of, there's no real PR related to that other than making sure that we've put it on as many places as we can, that there is a public hearing that's going to happen. I am not suggesting we entertain any feedback at that point, but just make everyone aware that there is one coming up and try and get attendance as high as possible for the middle of the summer. Does anybody else have anything that they'd like to talk with regards to public outreach, public hearings? Okay, hearing none. Hang on one second. We're done. My husband's on the phone with Peter Wiggins right now. Okay, so does anybody else have anything else they would like to discuss this evening? Peter says hi to everybody. All right. Seeing none, our next meeting is scheduled for July 27th. We have a couple of action items to take care of then, and I expect that one will probably be a short meeting as well. If there's no other matters to discuss this evening, the chair will take a motion to adjourn the meeting at 7:51.
I'll move. Jerry again.
You want to stay? You want to talk? What do you want to talk about?
I was trying to let somebody else go.
I'll second that, Janie.
Okay. Janie, thank you. Everybody in favor? Sandy?
Yes.
Kevin, was that you're in favor of adjourning, or you want to talk about something?
No, I'm good. We can adjourn.
Okay. Dave Heaney?
Yep.
Carrie?
Yes.
Janie?
Yes.
Dave Wren?
Yes.
That was everybody, right? And I am also in agreement. Okay, we are adjourned. That was a nice short one. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Nice to see you all.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye. Enjoy your vacation, Kevin.
Bye.
Yes, please. Go jump in the lake. All right. Stopping.